Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the control statements in C programming languages. There are two types of control statements. One is the conditional control statement and the other is the unconditional control statement. So we are going to discuss some illustrative programs on the conditional control statements so as to make you understand about the concept of the control statements in very brief and a very fundamental way. So let us discuss about the different types of constructs in the conditional control statements, and so we have different types of control statement constructs like if and else, and then comes the if else if ladder, and finally the nested if constructs. So these are the few conditional control statement constructs, out of which the simplest of which is the if, and then comes the if else. In sequence, the if else if ladder comes after that, and after that the nested if construct comes, which is a bit difficult and which is a bit complicated than the other three. So we are just going to develop a program. We are just going to describe an illustrative program on the basic if-else construct, which includes the if construct as well as the if-else. That program will cover both the constructs. So let us just write an illustrative program in C programming language to describe the concept of if-else. So now we are going to describe a very simple and very fundamental program consisting of the if-else construct, which will determine if any number is input by the user, whether the number is even or odd. That's a very simple program, but it will demonstrate the use of the if-else construct. So let us just get started with that program of the if-else construct, the first program of the if-else construct. So we start with the program in this manner. We include the header files, as you know, hash include stdio.h. You are familiar with this header file inclusion statement. This is a preprocessor directive which includes the standard IO into the C program, and then comes the main function of the program, that is the int main, and after that we put a brace, as you know everybody. So now we are going to declare a variable called a or b or anything else. So let us declare a variable like int a. So this variable will take, this is an identifier, a is called the identifier, as you know, and this a will take a value from the user, and user will give a value into the a, and that will be checked for whether it is even or odd. So let us just supply some value from the user end. So for that we will give a prompt like printf new line, enter a number, again a new line to take the input from the next line of the program. Now the user will input one integer number, the address of which we will mention as &a. That will take the value from the keyboard from the user and assign the value to the a variable. So now the programming, the if-else construct comes into play. So now we are going to the logical portion of the program. These two lines are the output, input and statement, and now we are going to the logical section. So the logical section is just like this. If, as you know students, that any number which is divided by 2, if it gives the result as remainder result as 0, so that must be an even number, and if the result is a non-zero value, then obviously that number is an odd number. So we are going to just take that into consideration while writing our if-else construct. So the first statement of the if-else construct is like this. You put this if over here and put a first bracket, and then after that you write the condition that if a percent 2, that is a percent 2 means that is the a value is divided by 2, the modulus operator is the percentage operator which will return the remainder, which is to be checked by us whether it is 1 or 0, so as to determine whether the value is whether the number is even or odd. So we will write in this manner: if a percent 2 equals 0, that means if the remainder comes to be 0 after a is being divided by 2, then we will definitely conclude that the value supplied by the user is an even number. So we will print, a little bit of indentation is required because we are writing under if. Any statement after if we will write in an indented fashion, that is just deviate somewhat rightwards. So printf, new line, the number is even, and the other condition is nothing else but the condition that is when a number is divided by 2, there can be only 2 possible remainders, that is only 0 and 1. So 1 is the 0 has been dealt with, and now the only thing which is remaining to be dealt with is the remainder 1. So we don't have to write that if a percent is equal to 1 or like that. We'll just write the complementary portion of the if, that is the else portion, and else will cover the rest. So we'll come in the line of else and line of if and write else over here, and then a little indentation just like the previous line. You write printf, the number is odd. So that is the logical part. It's a very simple program, but it demonstrates the if-else constructs, that is some condition. We are checking some condition in this bracket. According to this condition, we are printing some sort of statement, and according to this else condition, we will also likewise print some statement. So each of these statements are called expression statements, as you know, friends. And after that, we'll just go to the end part of the program as we have written it in this manner. That is int main. We need to write return 0 in the last line of the program, and then put the closing brace over here. That takes us to the end of the if-else illustrative program. So let us discuss an example of the above program. We'll just put some values in the variable and test whether the program runs. And since we are just doing it on the whiteboard and not on the computer, so that type of running the program is called the dry run, which helps the readers, the people who study the C programming language, to understand the C programming in a better way. Instead of going to just a computer and test the program and run it, they can just follow the dry run procedure to check whether the program is correct. So let us just put some values to check whether our program, which has been discussed just previously, yields the result. So we will take the variable a, say suppose the user gives the value 5. So as you know, this 5 is definitely an odd number, and to see whether the program works, we need to just check this 5 whether it is odd or even just by passing this 5 into the control statements. And as the program control passes on, we will just identify and try and identify that whether 5 is an odd number or even number. The result should be an odd number, as everybody know that 5 is an odd number. So let's check it. So if this 5 is the value of a, and if this statement is written in the program, a percent 2 is equals 0, that will be like this. This a becomes 5, and this percent and this 2. So if you divide 5 by this 2, you will get the remainder to be 1, and that is not equal to 0. So under this, the statement was printf, the number is even. So it will definitely, this statement statement will definitely become false, this checking will become false, and automatically the program control will run to the next block, that is the else block, and that else portion contains the statement the number is odd. So definitely we will get the result as the number is odd as is expected by us. So that is a bit of dry run. This is called a dry run, which lets us understand a program. If we write the program and we can just put some values in it and dry run the program to test whether the program is correct. So this is the value testing, or this is the testing of the program, whether it is correct. We found that our program is perfectly correct, so it will definitely run on your computer system. So friends, if you have any doubts or queries regarding the program which I have described, so you can definitely put on your queries or comments in the comment section so that I can deal with your queries accordingly. So thank you for watching my video. Thanks.